Why do so many dogs die before their time? Actress and dog activist Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. Superfood Complete by Badlands Ranch is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including premium protein-packed beef, nutrient-dense organ meat, heart-healthy salmon, gut-healthy vegetables, and several superfoods vital to your dog's health. And because high-heat cooking can add unhealthy things to your dog's food, Superfood Complete uses air drying, so it gets cooked low and slow. This means it has the convenience of kibble, but the health benefits of whole foods. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible benefits, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 right now to get up to 50% off your order and a 90-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's BADLANDS ranch.com/save50 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary.
On January 17th, 1989, at the Louder Than You Think Studios in Stockton, California, Stephen Malkmus and Scott Camberg, along with their producer and sometimes drummer Gary Young, laid down the first 5 tracks of the seminal indie rock band Pavement. Today, we begin a journey of going track by track through the Pavement catalog with a goal of one day, perhaps, meeting Malkmus. Welcome to Meeting Malkmus, a Pavement podcast. Hey there, this is JD. I'm going to be your host for the next, I don't even know, like 200 weeks of Meeting Malkmus, a Pavement podcast. A little about me: I am neither cool enough or qualified enough to be driving this boat, but pile in because we're about to leave the shore. So get your life vests on and let's just go, okay? Meeting Malkmus is going to be a weekly podcast. I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes long. I'm going to play you a track. We're going to start with You're Killing Me, and it's going to end with, what is the last EP from Terror Twilight? Shit. I can't remember right now. I don't have it in front of me, but that's where we'll end. So I'm going to use interviews with various people maybe that have been influenced by the band or really enjoy the band, hopefully members of the band itself. And I've got the Perfect Sound Forever book. I've watched Slow Century, a million times, and liner notes, old magazine articles, that sort of stuff, to get as much insight as we're capable of. From there, I'm going to jump off and make assumptions. I'm going to tell you what I think lyrics are about, and I'm going to use my limited music vocabulary to explain songs the best way I can. I don't have a extensive live experience with Pavement, so I won't be able to. I've seen them one time. I've seen them one fucking time. Because let me tell you, Pavement has been in my life for about 20 years. My roommate he was a huge Radiohead guy, and he bought Terror Twilight, and because it was produced by Nigel Godrich, and he listened to it once and hated it, and I fucking listened to it and loved it. Like, it grew on me instantly. And I remember, obviously I was in university from 94 to 98, so I was surrounded by it, and I heard it at the time, but it just never penetrated the mainstream. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and it just never penetrated enough up here for me to, get into it. I wasn't cool enough, quite frankly. I didn't have my ear to the ground, and I missed out. And as a result, the knots and the teens of the 2000s for me have been catching up and really enjoying music that I missed out on in the 90s. A lot of lo-fi bands and a lot of indie bands that just passed me by. And I'm grateful for the internet, and I'm grateful for YouTube to be able to go back and watch all these live performances that I didn't see. I saw them in Central Park in 2010. Cool side story. My daughter was born September 17th, 2009, and that was the day that Pavement announced that they were playing in Central Park 1 year later in 2010. I bought tickets that day before I went to the hospital to witness the birth of my first child. I got to buy tickets to go see Pavement. It was all around a fucking spectacular day. And, I had waited at that point, almost 10 years. Close to 10 years, more than 10 years to get news like this. This was spectacular news. So that's my, experience with the band. And that's what I hope to accomplish with this show. It's going to be a big project. I'm going to need your help. If you've got ideas or feedback or stories, email them to me. And if you're cool, I'll read them on the air. Like if it's all right with you. So in the email, just let me know and I'll read it as part of the episode. If it's constructive feedback that is like, you should do this differently, then, I'll take that into account as well. In fact, you may have already heard this episode when I did it the first time, and it was much shorter. And it was a different concept, really. I was producing it very lo-fi, and I got a lot of feedback that people just did not like the lo-fi aspect to it. So I went back and re-recorded it, and now those episodes are no longer available. I've pulled them from the site. Maybe at some point I'll release them as B-sides or something to to sort of parody what the band does with their extensive catalog. Although you don't want to hear it. It's pretty shitty. So there you go. Let's start at the start. Let's go back to January 17th, 1989, when Stephen Malcolmus and Scott Camberg decided that they had some tracks that they wanted to put on vinyl. They wanted to release an EP, a 7-inch, and they went to the Yellow Pages and looked for a studio to record that in. They found a couple. One was run by a fellow named Gary Young, who was, I'll get more into Gary as we go through the episodes. But Gary is a hippie's hippie. He really did everything. If you listen to the 3 Songs podcast, the Pavement episode, Bob Nastanovich really goes into some, great detail about who Gary Young is and what he's about and the various things. But at any rate, he had a studio called Louder Than You Think, and the rates were reasonable. And Malcolmus and Scott both decided to get the money together to go in and lay this shit down. And that's exactly what they did. So we're releasing this. I'm releasing this. I would say we, I don't know why. I'm releasing this on January 17th, 2019, which is the 30th anniversary of them going into the studio. The reason I'm doing that is because this EP doesn't have a release date proper. It was put together and distributed manually, independently, I suppose, like true independently, to various influential disc jockeys, influential zines, and friends and people that were close to the guys in the band. So January 17th is the date that we used to sort of start this project. So there you go. The first track on this EP is You're Killing Me. And it's a tour de force. It's a great introduction to what this band is and who they're influenced by. And it gets people scratching their heads along with this entire project, really. Sidetracks was attributed to SM and Spiral Stairs. And that was really confusing to people who had this EP because they didn't know who the fuck those people were and where they came from and what they were doing, but they wanted more. They wanted more. They got 5 tracks. They got about 15 minutes, 14 and a half minutes of content on this initial EP. And frankly, it wasn't enough. People wanted more. This charted, on zines and on college radio stations. This is pretty unprecedented for an EP that, had 1,000 copies pressed. That's crazy town. So Pavement came out of the gates hot. And God, I mean, they really didn't let go of that heat until the end. And here we are 30 years later, hoping that they'll, get the boys back together and hit the road again. And wouldn't it be great if we could get new content as well? Like, that would just be fantastic. In the interim, we're getting lots of great content from members in the band. Both Malcolmus and Spiral have new records coming out, and I can't wait to listen to both of those. But I want more Pavement. You're killing me. This is a track with 2 guitars, no drums. Malcolm has said in an interview at one point that it's 2 guitars and noise is the third instrument. And really, it truly is. If you listen to it, the beginning sounds like a record scratching or a guitar pick, going up the strings of a guitar, really with a fuzzed out effect, and then you get into that really thundery, crunchy riff, and then, a nice vocal melody that doesn't necessarily let you in on the REM, the Michael Stipe type influences, but it does let you in on, that sort of punk rock ethos and that sort of feeling and vibe, right? There's a lot of people that talk about The Fall when they talk about Pavement and Swell Maps. If you go and listen to, that music, you'll hear those influences on this record for sure. And that's ultimately a good thing, because what we got from this collection of influences coming through the guitars and the vocals and the lyrics and the ethos, this is Pavement, and it's truly a great thing that we got access to this band when we did. So this is as good a point as any to wrap this episode. We'll continue to talk about the production of Slate tracks and some stories of early Pavement as the show progresses. So thanks for joining me this week. Let's go right into the first track on Slate Tracks. It's the longest song on the record. This is You're Killing Me on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
Sign
Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. You can listen, share, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about the show, go to www.meetingmalcolmus.com. I tweet and Instagram at Meeting Malcolmus. Steven, are you listening?